Hello and welcome to Shelley's Sacred Space. And today we are doing our question and answer. And the question I got was, is swords fire or air? And is wands fire or air? Now, the answer to this question is very simple. It depends on how you were taught. That being said, in your classic Coleman Smith Rider-Waite deck, the swords are classified as air, and the wands are classified as fire. Now, air connects with your intuition, your thoughts, your analytical skills, whereas fire, wands, connects with action, growing, moving forward. Now, there are decks out there that reverse the two of them, and that's okay. For me, when I was first learning, I always naturally put swords under fire because I thought forged in fire, swords. And I put the wands under air because you get oxygen from growing trees. And that's how I had figured it out. And then as I was learning, I'm like, oh, I keep doing this wrong. And I wish I had have known back then what I know now, in the sense of it's not necessarily wrong and that it's okay to think that way if that's what you want. So what I did do was I picked a couple different cards from each of the suits. So we have the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands. Now both of these have somebody who is two decisions, right? This one we're looking at, are we going somewhere? Are we traveling somewhere? So that's where the action part comes in. And this one is, what is it that we're not seeing and we're not analyzing? That's for your Rider-Waite. If you were to switch those, this would be, you're stuck at the moment. You can't move forward because you haven't made that decision. And this one would be, where are your thoughts taking you? What's next in your world? So you see how they both can interconnect in their meanings, and you can actually make your choice on whether you want swords to be air or fire. Let's look at the next one and see how it goes. So we have the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. Both of them are a battle. One is in the middle of it and one is at the end of it. So when we look at the five, it's usually a conflict. You're looking at this one as air. You're going to look at that as you've had the battle of wits and one person has prevailed and everyone's super unhappy about it. Even the person who prevailed doesn't look that happy. And if you look at this one as the fire sign, it's the action in the right in the middle of the mediation, or it could be even pretending and working it out through, you know, playing about. Again, depends how you look at it. If we are to reverse those, and this is the air, this is everyone stating their opinion, everyone talking over each other, everyone trying to get their thoughts across. Where this one, if you're looking at it as the fire sign, the actions that you've taken have driven everyone away. Okay. The next one we have is the Eight. Now, what's interesting with the Eight of Wands is it is, I believe, the only card that has no people in it, which is interesting that that was done. In this one, in the action taken, it literally indicates that everything that you're working on is going in one direction. And this one, as the thought process in the air spot, like the Smith Rider-Waite, it's looking at the fact that you can't see You're choosing to stay stuck in your thoughts by not looking at things from a different perspective. In this card, she's choosing to stay. She's not tied up really tight. She's chosen to be blindfolded. She's choosing not to see the truths that are around her. Now, if we look at this one as the fire, in which case it's stagnation, it's you're stopped in your activity and you're moving forward, but it's because you're choosing not to see the signs around you, right? The things that are leading you forward, the actions that you can take to move forward, you're choosing to ignore those and just stay in your current situation. If we look at this one as thoughts, so now we're in the air instead of the fire, you're looking at that in that all thoughts have the same outcome, right? So when you focus your thoughts on what it is that you want and you literally have every thought going to that outcome, all the actions will follow and everything is zoned in. So it's about focus and it's about being precise. So that's how those two work. We have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands. Now, I brought this one up because it's interesting. Both of them are very not joyful cards. This one with the Smith Rider-Waite deck, it talks about having that heavy load and having all these burdens and these actions that you have to take, and you're hard working and you're just struggling to get through them. All the things that you still have to do that you got to take with you. And then this one is about the thoughts are leading you to this point where you're going to have no choice but to reset. If we reverse it, this one is you've worked yourself to the bone and now you need to reset. And this one, if it's thoughts, it's you're carrying all those thoughts with you and not letting go of the stuff that you can let go of. You don't have to carry all that burden. You need to let go of some of it. Okay? And the final one I wanted to do was the king. And the reason I wanted to do that is because this is one of the ones that's very interesting for me. So, King of Swords in your classic Coleman Smith Rider-Waite, you are looking at someone who is looking straight at you. So if you're doing this based on the air, that means that the person, it can be cold, very decisive, sometimes even cruel, doesn't mess around, doesn't play around, just, this is the way it is, period. They're very, very authoritarian and very direct. And this one being your fire, this one actually has the person looking to the past. So they're looking at things that have happened and occurred, and they're looking at the actions and where they led. They're not looking directly at you. They're not focused on you. They're focused on the past. If we were to reverse this, it would be this person is all about action. This person is ready to go. They're focused, they're ready, they're determined. We look at this one with the air energy. We're looking at his contemplation of the past and the things that have happened because he's looking in the past. Now, he does have a salamander, which means that he has grown and manifested things from that past, but he's actually reflecting on the past as opposed to in the now with his thoughts. So he's almost taking that time to reflect, knowing that the way to move forward is sometimes by reflecting back and seeing where you're at and if you're at the right spot now. So he's contemplating versus being very direct and firm like this one. But if this one's the action, he's now ready to go. He's the thoughts, he's direct, he's very precise, And this one is if he's the fire element, then he's, reaping in and looking at all that he has done and accomplished. All right. So, one, I'm sorry there wasn't a direct answer. And two, I hope you understand that ultimately you're going to look at the cards and you're going to connect to it the way you feel. There are many times, depending on the cards that surround it, that my swords and my wands reverse a little. If there is a lot of movement in cards, then the swords tend to lead to actions to take as opposed to the thought process. And if there's not a lot of movements, sometimes my wands will, instead of being the actions to take, will be looking at what needs to be done and contemplating it. So it doesn't have to be one or the other. And for everyone who can't stand that, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. This is what makes tarot so great because you won't ever have the exact same reading from someone, from two different people, or even from the same person twice. What is interesting too, though, is if you have gone to a couple different readers, like if you've gone to a fair or that, and you go and you get a two or three readings, if you have the same message coming through, but with different cards, you kind of know that, okay, that was the message for me. Anyways, I digressed a little. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for the question. Remember, leave me a question. I will do my best to answer it. Until the next time, bye for now.